next guest.
Right, Panama. And the reason why is we have a gentleman who just went to Panama. And I believe the U.S. relations with Panama have now been
Closed.
broken. The
Yeah,
canal is
the funny thing about this guy is he goes, you can't even go to Puerto Vallarta anymore because they want to kill us. You can't go to any of these countries right across the border because we don't have our relations are failing. This guy gets in a canoe and goes up a river in like the jungles of Panama. Oh, you know what? And here's the other cool thing. He vanished, so I can't even bring him in.
So I want to preface this, and Frank, you really hit the nail on the head when you said Renaissance man. This guy is the been there, done that guy of all time. How did if you're in metal detecting and you don't know who this guy is, you haven't been in metal detecting long enough.
Metal detecting, circus performers, anything. You've been involved in anything and don't know who he is.
And if you've met him and you know him, which many do, he honestly is one of the greatest guys in the world. But don't turn your back on him.
Or leave your phone where it can't be found.
Yeah, don't leave your back there. Don't,
Listen, if you happen to be having dinner next to this guy and he engages you in deep conversation, be aware what's going on behind your back.
Be aware of the others around you.
The other cohorts.
Star of Uncharted Expedition. Guy is Renaissance man is this man. So
I want to talk to him about that too, because I don't know how these guys expect to take that show to the next level since I haven't been on it yet.
You know what?
It's a good show.
You got to ruin. Why do you even have to ruin our show? Go do that shit on Josh Kimmel's show, will you?
Listen, I'm very much appreciated over at Josh's show.
You are. So stay there. Stop bothering us. Stop trying to ruin us even more than we are. Let's bring him in, Mr. Mark Hoover. Round of applause, everybody! Yay, Mark! Yay! Round of applause.
3 seconds to bring him in.
He's not why
there he is.
There he is.
There he is.
Hey, Ronnie, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Don't let these guys talk. We'll go for about a half hour, me and you.
All right. So first off, Mark, I got one important question to ask you.
Yeah.
I heard you sent Frank a message of how much you're getting paid tonight.
Yeah, I was just asking him how much this gig. My agent wanted me to ask how much this gig paid.
Well, you tell your agent to call my agent.
You get a spare jar of strawberry jam.
You're going to get exactly what I get to do this show. Marcus.
I have doubled Steve's salary.
Mark, how are you tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great, Steve. Thanks for having me.
It's always great having you on this show. You're always welcome to come on this show. I think you're one of the greatest guys.
Well, I appreciate that.
But unfortunately, we heard since the Panama Canal has now been shut down to all U.S. Ships that the supply chain is really screwed.
Yeah, all those parts we get from Panama.
I don't know. I mean, I tried not to mess up the ship, but it just kind of clogged up the canal.
Now you went. Did you go through the canal with the ship?
Yeah.
Yeah. That must have been neat.
Yeah. It's really cool.
You took how many day cruise to Panama?
Yeah, so we left out of Fort Lauderdale, and it was a 10-day cruise.
Okay.
We went into Aruba, Curacao, Costa Rica, and then we went through the canal, and we did it an excursion in Panama. Yeah.
And what was that excursion?
Well, we did a little trip. We did a 2-hour bus ride and then a 20-minute ride upriver in a long wooden canoe, and met the Embera tribe while we were in Panama. That was phenomenal.
The Embera tribe?
It's called the Embera tribe.
So were they embarrassed?
No.
Yeah, that's our tribe because we're unbearable.
We're unbearable. Yeah, we are the unbearables. How was that? What was that about? You got to meet the natives. Were they
Um,
restless?
well, I'm sorry. Say that again.
Were the natives restless?
They were very, very gracious hosts,
Sure.
but it was a lifetime experience for us. And I sent Frank. I don't know if you're going to be able to share any of the pictures or not.
I'll
But
be able to. As soon
Oh,
as I
yeah.
find them, dude, I'm all over it.
all right, so Steve, they have it in Panama. The Imbera tribe is in Colombia and in Panama. They have different family units. And this particular group, their area was turned into a national park. So they're not allowed to hunt anymore. It's illegal to hunt, which is, they do hunting and fishing to survive. So they had to set up some way for them to survive. So they set up a tourist thing where they would bring tourists in and they could sell their wares like baskets and carvings and things like that. Now, this young man that I'm standing next to, his name is Mela, Mela, and he was one of the very first people that I met. I didn't know it at the time that I met him. He's the chief of the tribe's son, and they have their own native language, and they speak a little bit of Spanish. I speak a little bit of broken Spanish. So between that and an interpreter that we had, we were able to communicate. Now, what this other picture is that's a carving of a hummingbird that Mela did. And the little basket is what Gail bought. My wife bought that basket from Mela's wife, and her name is Samantha. And they make all of these different items like this, and they sell them to the tourists, and that's how they make their living, as opposed to going out and hunting themselves.
Hold on, Frank.
Yeah.
Remember when we drove to Florida
Mm-hmm.
and we
How could
stopped
you
at that
forget?
place called South of the Border?
That was South Carolina. Yeah.
Weren't the shelves full of those little things? They were all over the place.
Now we know where they get them.
Oh, I thought it said made in China on them when we saw them. So, Mark, I do have a problem.
Okay.
I did find this out, that what you're not telling everyone is what almost happened to you. The Imbara tribe are cannibals. And they looked at Mark and they go, we eat you. We eat you. So what does Mark do? Look how skinny I am. There's no meat. And then he takes out a picture of Steve and goes, I can promise you this. And they go, oh, we eat for days. We eat for days.
Weeks.
Their ancestors will be eating off of that stuff.
So my
Their
free trip to
futures-
Panama, I was very suspicious when I got that free trip to Panama. What do we got there? Look at that necklace. That's nice.
First of all, Mark,
So-
tell him what that guy is holding in his hand.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is actually a really, really good story. So a lot of people don't know this. About 4 or 5 years ago, when I first started listening to Detect America, I actually won that $2 on one.
I got news for you. It was more than 4 or 5 years ago, too.
Well, it probably is. Probably 6 years ago, 7 years, whatever. Anyway, Frank sent me that real, and I understand from Frank, you found that in a tavern in New Jersey, right?
I
An
found
old
that in a tavern in New Jersey. Yeah, an old tavern.
Okay. So I was wearing that down there. And if you'll notice in Samantha's hands, she's holding a jar of Gail's strawberry jam. And we went there with the intent of like, well, we may have to give them something. So Steve's not with us. So let's give him some strawberry jam. That'll hold him over until I get
You just put a picture of Steve on top of the jar of strawberry jam.
So-
It's a tough crowd, man. This is a tough crowd.
So when they were selling all this stuff, I pointed to Mela's necklace, and it turns out his necklace was made for him by his father, who is the chief. And I noticed that they weren't selling them, and I said, something to the effect of like, how can I get one of those or whatever?
Again,
And he
south
just
of the
looked at
border.
me and he's like, no. And then about 20 minutes later, he came and got me and pulled me away from everybody that was there. There was probably about 40 people there that were visiting. He pulled me away, and I grabbed Gail, and I said, "Come with me. He's taking us somewhere." We walked.
Yeah,
about
you thought you were going to have to give her up to
In a
save your
pot.
life. Right?
Pop.
Real nice.
Dale,
I'd
come
give
with
something.
me in case you.
Yeah. Take her.
So we walked about 200 yards to his house. Now, his house is a platform in the trees, with a little grass top. And he said, "Wait here." And then he came back out and he had one in his hands. And so I was like, I know they weren't going to sell it, but I wanted to give him money anyway. So I gave him some money. And then I said, "Gail, can you take off my necklace?" And I took it off and I showed him the coin, the 2 real, and he was studying it. And we were looking at it was 1781. And I said the number in my best ability, the best way that I could, like uno, siete, ocho, uno, 1781. And he was just fascinated with it. And he handed it back to me. So I took his hand and I put the coin in his hand and I closed his hand and I said, "This is for you." And he was just, we were just, bonded at that moment. And I can almost promise you that at some point that coin will be on his necklace in the future.
But
Dude, someone said,
to be truthful, though, he got really excited when you said this was D.A. Frank Loperbolos. He said, "Oh, Expedition Unknown." I remember. I remember the whole story.
Yeah,
Someone
that's
said-
right. Yeah,
someone
he's like,
said that.
when's Frank coming down?
Someone
It's
said
Don't
this
ask
was-
Ariel Frank.
It's amazing you even got the coin from Frank.
Yeah,
Let
that's
alone
true.
be able to give
Well, he wanted 7 years ago, but he only got it about 2 weeks ago.
it.
Yeah,
That's a possibility.
Someone
Yeah,
said
I can
someone
believe
said
that.
he's going to make you a necklace with my teeth. That's a tough crowd, man.
Take a close look at that necklace.
Look at that. That is
Yeah,
nice.
that's nice.
I saw them at south of the border too. I mean,
No, you didn't. You didn't see that one.
that's nice.
Yeah, no, it was just a very special, time. And, that we learned a lot about the tribe. He is the chief's son. His grandfather, he had a picture of his grandfather who passed away in 2010, but he died when he was 96 years old.
Oh wow.
Did they all come running at you with spears when you landed, like they were scaring you?
Just like
No,
the movies.
they were all literally when we walked up, they were all playing music. They had different instruments that they were playing, and they were playing music. And
That was dinner music. They were preparing for a meal.
Appetizer music, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So they fed us. They cooked tilapia, and they had fresh fruit, and they did their native dances, and they had a gentleman speak to us in his native language, and they had a translator. And they told us, ironically, now what was interesting was they were telling us how they elected the chief. And the chief has to be 35 years old to be elected chief. Now, Mela is only 30, so he can't be, but his father is chief.
Is he destined to be chief, though?
Well, no, not necessarily, but I believe that he will be. I mean, it's kind of interesting. You could almost feel that, he had a presence that was, above. I told him he's going to be chief one day.
And he's got a heritage, and he's kind of a royalty.
His grandfather was chief. His father was chief. I'm sure.
Why do I think as soon as you left, they all got changed back in their street clothes, jumped in their Range Rovers, and drive home to their real houses?
I heard him yelling in the factory, "We need a couple more of those necklaces."
Yeah, they got on their cell phones and called China.
Yeah, they picked up their cell phones. Yeah.
Melt this coin down and make me something.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be something
They got
if
on
we're
the
watching
satellite
show
phones.
tonight.
In their
Yeah.
group, about how many were there? I don't want to make it sound weird, but about how many people were in this tribe?
All right, so then there's multiple groups. So there was like 4 different groups along the river. We went to group number 2, and we couldn't go to 3 or 4 because the river was too low to get to them. So this group was about 35 families with about 140 individuals, including older people, young people, babies, about 140. And what was interesting was the older people in the group would not come out. It was only the younger people that would come to meet with us.
I see he's wearing shorts from Ron John's. I wonder where they get all their clothing. So,
like you said, there's 4 different groups. If he was to become chief, is he chief of just his group or
just his group? Yeah, just his group.
Now, so they live off the land?
They do live off the land. They do a lot of fishing. But as I said, now, they're selling their, the stuff that they make to the tourists, and they use that, and they do buy food, and they bring the food in to them. But they eat a lot of fish. And
obviously, they buy their clothes too. I mean,
no, they don't. They make them. Well, they buy the material. They buy the material, but the stuff that they wore, the women, they had these beautiful coin. I mean, their stuff that they wear is just magnificent. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, look at all the stuff they're wearing.
I guess none of them were bare-breasted like the old National Geographics, huh?
Not this tribe, but there are some that do that.
Frank wanted to know: is there any men's room around there?
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because they're now catering to tourists.
Okay.
Somebody had to go in and set those up. So
there you go, bud.
Oh, awesome. I'm there.
So there you go. You can travel.
Frank is there. If there's a public tribesman.
You wait till I find that men's room. I'm coming out with one of them necklaces.
Oh yeah, he'll come out with a whole bunch of them.
I got kudos to you, dude. Because first of all, I'm not crossing any border to go to Panama. At least not now. Let alone am I getting in a canoe and going upriver to meet. I don't care how. And I'm sure they're very nice people, and they seem like they're wonderful. I'm not going to meet them.
Yeah, and then walking down the path with El Chapo.
Oh yeah, come here. Come here, out of sight of everyone, where no one can hear you scream.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, if they said to me, Mark, would you, if anybody wants to stay overnight, I would have stayed overnight. I mean, I would love to have stayed and learned more about.
Oh, I know. That's what I like about you, dude. You are the guy that would be
absolutely
all into this, and you've probably even came home and studied more about them, or if you haven't had the time, you will learn more about them. And
yeah, you can. Anybody that's interested that's listening, you can Google the Embera tribe and you can read about them. They're pretty well known.
Is your lovely wife there with you?
I'm sorry?
Is Gail there? Can she come on and say hi?
Yeah, let me get her. She doesn't like to do that, but I'll see if I can get her to come in.
Are you sure she came back from Panama?
That's what we want to prove. We want to make sure she came back.
Not that we don't like Gail. We love Gail, but we just want to make sure she's okay.
Oh no.
That's something I would do. They're taking me down this trail. Deb, come with me. Come here. Get over here. No, don't take me. Take her. Take her. Look. Incredible. I mean, it's probably a once in a lifetime thing to, even, meet people like that. She hates us, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's mad at me now.
You want to see mad? You want to see when my wife comes down. Incredible. And so, I mean, that experience is up your alley.
Oh, I can totally see Mark completely immersed in that culture.
What's that?
I said I could totally see you getting completely immersed. Hey, Gail.
Now we'll see her in Florida Hunt 9, right?
Florida Hunt 9, yeah. We'll bring she'll be there, and we'll have the strawberry jam and everything.
And our favorite granddaughter.
Gail, I'm just putting it out there. Mark never gave me jam last time.
He did. Well, shame on him. Well, you'll get 2 jars.
I think he ate. I think he kept it. He kept it to trade with some tribe.
You're a real piece of work. You know that? You really are a real piece of work.
Well, I'm glad y'all like it.
He's lying to you.
She doesn't know that what y'all said was you wanted to make sure she came back from Panama, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, we were
yeah.
worried. That's all. We
Mark
were
didn't
We were
worried.
checking on your well-being, Gail.
No, she did
Thank
come back. This
you.
is proof.
Yeah.
We were kind of worried that she's in this big pot over top of a campfire and they're throwing carrots and
Wrapped in a
onions.
tiger cage or something.
They're throwing carrots and onions in there.
No, it was good. It was all good.
All right.
All right, take care.
All right,
There you
bye-bye.
So Panama. I mean, that's nice.
She's going to beat me later for that.
Okay, so-
But anyway, hey, Frank, were there any other questions about the tribe?
I mean, no. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think you covered it all. I think it's awesome. Honestly, I would love to do it, but I would never do it.
So now they lived in these huts.
Yeah.
What was like in the hut when you went in there? What was in there? Like, I mean, like, what's it like?
Well, there's a big communal hut where they have all of their meetings and they sell their wares and it's just huge. I mean, it's a big and it's got a thatch roof and the where they live, they're literally platforms that are built up on stilts and then they have a roof that's made out of thatch. And
I mean, do they have walls and stuff?
no.
Really?
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, they do have walls. They do have walls. They're made out of they're thatched walls. And part of Bella's house had a tin roof, and he pointed to it and he said something to the effect of charity or charitable contributions or something. They were able to buy some tin and make part of a roof. So yeah, they don't have a lot.
Now,
but
what about like tables and chairs and pots and pans and?
I didn't see any. They do have they had a large pot where they were cooking all the fish, and then they served them in these literally like
Styrofoam containers?
plant leaves that they wrapped around, and they put the food in there, and then you eat the food out of there.
Like no spoons or forks?
Nope.
Get out. That's like eating at Frank's house. It's literally like eating at Frank's. So seriously, so this was like, how do I put it? I don't want to use the word barren, but it wasn't like a normal house where chairs and no tables. What did they sleep on?
They slept on the platform.
No mattress?
Well, I didn't go inside his house. I was standing outside.
Oh, yeah.
in the
Okay.
backside. I'm sure they've got something out there that they do.
No,
No,
convenience
Mark,
store?
This is
Oh,
a
Mark, I
real,
understand that you were a little under the weather. How under, and did that have anything to do with like the water or the food south of the border?
Did you go poopy?
had nothing to do with it. We all just had colds when we got back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it had no problems with the water or anything like that. So yeah, but yeah.
What else did you see any crazy wildlife? What did you see?
Oh yeah. Well, we saw monkeys and sloths and caiman. Caiman are the saltwater crocodiles.
Yeah.
And because
So it's like being at Frank's house.
Pretty much.
You could have saved yourself a lot of money and just went
You're
to Frank's
seeing,
house.
you're seeing a sloth right here. Can I tell you?
Yeah, you could have just saved yourself a lot of money and went to Frank's.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're going to go down there. You're going to see a lot of wildlife and lots of birds and stuff like that.
Right.
So it was fun. But I was going to Frank. You had that picture of me in the water showing.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me bring it up.
I posted this one. I haven't posted any of the tribe photos yet, but we hunted the very first. I metal detected the very first day at Half Moon Cay, which is Holland America's first stop. It's a private island, and you have the photo, Frank.
Did you find
Yeah,
anything
it's
good?
What's that?
Did you find anything good?
Yeah. So it was. Can you believe how clear that water is?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
I can almost see your toenails. Jesus God.
Yeah, that's they said it was probably the calmest and clearest that they had seen in a long time. And yeah, and now you can see I'm wearing Thresher headphones, and those things are phenomenal. I love those. I was testing the Manicore. I took that underwater, and then I got to give a shout out to Dwight. Dwight gave me the Note to Macro scoop, which is a great scoop for traveling. It's super light, breaks
Right.
down into two, goes right into two pieces, go right into your
That's important. Yeah.
suitcase.
Wait a minute, is this the tribe?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're going, that's a different picture. That was 2 weeks prior. So let me jump into this one then. So first of all, let me give a shout out to Greg Papalo. Greg, I don't know if you're listening, but man, there's a lot of people praying for you right now. And
Oh my God, right? I know
glad to see
everyone.
you're in rehab, and and look forward to seeing you again. And
You know what? I talked to him on the phone yesterday, by the
Oh, you
way.
did?
I called him. He sounds good.
We literally had him on the show. What, the day after the stroke or 2 days after the stroke, he came on and
he was still being evaluated during his stroke, and we had him on the show.
listen, the show must go on. Greg's a pro.
Yeah. So he said he's got a kidney stone that he's got. That's what they have to operate to take that out because it's so big. So
I heard
that was that. He's in great spirits.
First full day, had a full day of therapy today. Went the whole distance.
So Frank, pull that picture back up a second. I want to tell everybody who those people are. So that's Dan DeMarco from Camp Freedom.
Yeah, he's awesome.
7 and 8. That's so on the other side you saw Greg Papalo.
Yeah.
And then that's Mark Holtrip standing next to Dan and his two sons, Brandon and Chris. And Mark had reached out to me. I did a tailgate talk with Garrett, and Mark is a retired Navy veteran who was wounded in Afghanistan. And he saw my tailgate talk with Garrett and reached out to me and said, hey, I saw your tailgate talk. Is there any way we could go, you could take me metal detecting? I'm new to metal detecting. And so we just hit it off. And he lives in North Florida. And so I reached out to Greg. Greg reached out to Dan, and Dan invited us to come hunt at Camp Freedom.
Let me ask you a question, though, Mark. Why would you do that? Because usually the response is no, go find your own property.
In New Jersey.
In New Jersey. No, in New Jersey. Go get that,
Yeah,
That's a great thing, Mark. That's a nice thing to do. Go ahead. And Camp Freedom. I love Camp Freedom.
I know. We love that place.
I can't wait to see Dan at FH9. I can't wait to see everybody at FH9.
Well, these three gentlemen, Mark is just the ultimate gentleman, and he is coming to Florida Hunt 9.
Good.
And
Nice.
I'm hoping that Brandon and Chris come with him. I believe Brandon for sure is coming with him. But what I would ask is anybody that's coming to Florida Hunt 9, please come up and say hi to Mark and welcome him. And any other vets, firemen, let's just thank these guys. And to answer your question, Steve, there's no way I would turn down somebody that, especially a veteran who
I know that.
I wouldn't turn anybody down, but I really wanted to,
That's my little dig at the greedy detectorist. That's
right.
That's what sets you and me. Oh, and by the way, this brings me to another funny story. You got to meet my brother. And last time we were down for the Central Florida hunt, you remember my brother came to dinner.
Oh, yeah, right.
The guy who looks the exact opposite of Steve.
And you guys all made friends with my brother, and he didn't even like me anymore. Now, and he's coming to FH9 to hunt.
Oh, is he really? Oh, awesome.
He won. Well, see, the Florida hunt. Remember, he came to the Florida hunt too the next day. I don't know if you remember seeing him, but
I do remember. I do remember coming.
And he's like, "Oh, I want to detect." I'm like, "Well, this is a paid hunt." So then, when I told him about FH9, he goes, "Oh, we want to go and we want to detect." So it'll guaranteed to be fun.
Frank doesn't want your brother to bring his wife, though.
No, I don't mind your brother coming, but his wife, she's got. Tell her to avoid me.
Did you see that, Mark? Did you see what we did to him?
No, I didn't.
I had a knock on my door one like Sunday morning, and this lovely young lady stood at my step yelling at me because her ugly box was broken and demanding a replacement right now.
But I was on the computer with Frank. I was on video chat watching, and I knew they were coming to his house. And Frank's arguing. Dude, Frank is standing there with no shirt and he starts arguing with her. He's like, I want to see the box. And she's like, I don't have it. He goes, I want to see it.
I'm going to my truck and get it. I said, go ahead, get it. I said, I'm not giving no replacement until I see your box.
Then all of a sudden, my brother jumps in. He's like, oh, Sam, what are you doing here?
That's funny.
Well,
Well, it's good that he's coming to Florida Hunt 9. That'll be great.
Oh, I know. And it is. And we got the reservations at that place you and I spoke about in Wilston. So everything should be good. I mean, and Greg will be there. I know Greg will be there. We might have to put some reins on him or something because
let's strap him to a chair because he's going to want to be running around like a nut.
I think he's gonna wind up getting a golf cart or something,
It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, we're going to have a great time. Hopefully, Greg will be able to spend some time.
We've had fun at every single one of those.
So, Frank, I sent you another picture. Can you put that picture up? Because, we're going to do something special.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
I'll have to put the picture up first before I can talk about it. But this is something that we've been talking about, and
this will take a week for Frank to get the picture on the screen.
I mean, you can't hire good help anymore.
Hold on, let me take the other one out.
And don't say we don't hire the handicapped here, because guess what? This is why I was so glad you came on the show, Mark, because I can actually talk to someone who's got intellect.
So
not vegetable head over there.
Vegetable head.
So what this is I met an artist up in Rhode Island. He was here in Orlando for a coin show, and I bought some pieces from him. But this piece was very special.
That's nice.
It's a 2.5 ounce solid 0.99 silver piece that he created for the fallen soldier. And what we're going to do is about a month before the event, sometime next month, we're going to set something up on the Florida Hunt 9 Facebook group. Any veteran or any current member of the military, their current veteran, we're going to ask them to put their picture under the post and their name and where they served, what they served in. And then at Florida Hunt 9, one of those folks, man, woman, whoever, as long as they posted on that post with their picture and where they served, one of those people is going to win this particular piece right here.
That's awesome.
Now, can I lie and say I was in Da Nang?
No.
I just can't win. That's a nice piece, and that's a great thing.
Nang.
Yeah, and I know that there's going to be a lot of nice donations, and I know you guys always do a very nice donation.
When you do that for the Florida Hunt, share that to Detect America.
Oh yeah, we definitely will.
We will.
I know.
We'll share it to Detect America, but they will have to go on to the Florida Hunt 9 page under that post and put their picture and the description.
Yeah, we got a ton of vets on our page, and that's a cool thing.
I just saw something. Did I see what I think I just saw, Ron?
I'm looking right now.
Coyote?
No, I thought he just grabbed something off his counter.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I again, a very nice donation, and I just wanted to show
I know
we'll be donating to the event. We do this every year for Greg and the team, and we got a $5 US gold coin.
They're 1 ounce. They're quarter ounce, right? From Ron, quarter ounce.
Yeah, it's about a quarter ounce of 5.
Quarter ounce. And John Porchella is not allowed to
Yeah,
win.
John can't buy a ticket.
Oh, he can buy the tickets. He's just
He can
not
buy-
allowed to
You
win.
just can't win.
John has to buy his tickets from me because they're special tickets.
And Ronnie, that is, I thank you for doing that for FH9. I'm sure everyone is thankful. It's an awesome thing. You're an awesome guy. This, it's a great thing.
Ronnie's also donating an ugly box and a pair of Aquatex, I hear.
You
Is
know,
that right? Is that right, Frank? Okay, sure. Why not?
I just want to say this, okay? And I, if I come off weird, I apologize or cocky or whatever. But you know what? Unfortunately, when I was 18, I needed to have a shotgun wedding, we'll say. Okay. So it was either, you're going to marry my daughter type thing. So I didn't have a chance to even think about joining the military. So in when time came, I wanted to serve my country, and I did in the way of police work. I believe that I wanted to serve my country, and I was too late to go into the military. So, like I said, my contribution to our country was done in this country, if you understand what I'm saying. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, we thank you and Frank and everybody else who served in the police force, fires.
no, I know that. No, that's not what. That's what I mean. That's what I wasn't trying to say.
I know
that.
you weren't, but I'm still want to thank you for that.
Yeah,
you deserve the thanks for what you've
like
done.
I kind of maybe should have went in the military when I was younger, and I didn't. So that was my way of serving the country.
Well, we can set up a boot camp for you at Florida Hunt 9.
And I can tell you this: what if it's like one push up to the table? But honestly, my nephews. I got two nephews. One's in the 82nd Airborne, and he's already served twice overseas. The other is an officer in the Marines. This kid is just excelling through the Marines, the Marine Corps, and he's a second lieutenant already. Like, I mean, he went the officer route, and these guys are just serving our country, and I'm proud of both of them, man. And it's like they're not kids anymore. These guys are like 25 and 27-year-old men, and I'm like, they're brick shit houses too, man.
They go into boot camp as kids and they come out as men.
Yeah, and I know, my nephew was in overseas twice. I know he was in the Afghanistan airport when they sent him over there, and man, we were kind of worried.
Yeah.
We worried about that shit.
Well, this Mark who reached out to me, he was in a Humvee that was hit, flipped it upside down, and that's how he was injured over in Afghanistan. So, of course, we know Gary. And by the way, I have to give a shout out to Gary Penta. I don't know if he's listening tonight, but of course,
we always got to give a shout out to Gary Penta because he's great.
Yeah, we know his story, and Gary's my partner in crime here, and always like to give a shout out. And by the way, when you see Gary,
you say partner in crime, you're not kidding. Legitimately, partners in crime, you do.
Well, only when it comes to your cell phone. That's all. But yeah, when you see him next, you're going to be a little surprised. I think he posted today. He's been working out. He's been, working on losing weight. He's just lost 40 pounds.
What the hell do you want to do that for?
Well, I'm glad I could be an inspiration to him.
That's painful.
He saw you on IMDb and he said, "Man, I got to be like Frank."
Oh, hold on a minute. I just got to do my hair real quick.
Steve, is it true that you didn't join the armed forces because you heard they had no pizza? I think John Miglioff said that.
They got pizza.
Yeah,
they got pizza.
Joe Wells says Steve is the obstacle course. Somebody, I'm not reading a lot of the chat. I'm reading some, but somebody had asked earlier if I actually found anything on the beach when I went, in that picture you showed. So using the Manicore, I found a bunch of coins. I found a ring. Unfortunately, it wasn't gold. and I'm assuming it's a toe ring. It's really small. And the weirdest thing of all is I found a bunch of silverware. I found enough silverware to create my own
Set.
silverware set.
Oh, great. Yeah, like I'm going to eat at your house now.
Yeah, if I were you, I would have donated it to Mella and his family if they had
Yeah.
their fingers.
I left it on the beach. I was like, "Hey, you guys can have all your silverware back." But anyway, we did.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, I love that machine, and you know, anybody that has one, and Frank, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's a phenomenal machine. It's going to be a game
If
changer.
you're willing to spend the time, and you, like I tell everybody, you have to wrap your head around it. It'll go on like a switch, and you'll see the sunrise with that thing. And I'm gonna try and figure out how to get you these programs. I might have to send you the video of setting up that program.
Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah.
do it. Or I'll just bring it forward that night, and you can set it up for me.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
is that why you were hunting Half Moon Cay? How did you like that place?
It's phenomenal. I mean, you saw the water. I mean, it's
Mhm.
it would be tough to find any place, you know, as pristine as that.
You know,
Yeah,
our water over here in Southwest Florida is just like that, except for the 5-foot thick blob of seaweed that's attached to our beach. Oh yeah, and then there's the
red tide
plume of-
underneath.
Now, Mark, back to the Manicore, because sometimes we talk metal detecting on this page. You're really enjoying that machine. You like it. I mean, who else is using it to the, you know?
So I don't know a lot of people using it. I know Frank and I have talked.
Yeah,
I know what's funny is another guy in our club got the Manicore, and he went on a cruise the week before me, and he and I have not talked yet because we kind of like two ships passing in the night. So we're going to get together and talk about it. But, you know, I'm not an expert on it. So, I mean, that's my first
Well, that's the thing. There
disqualifier.
are none yet. There are no experts on it yet. The machine's not. There's not enough of them out there. Not enough people using it.
There's a couple guys that think they are.
Yeah. Well.
Well, look, you know, I used the Equinox a lot. I actually had one of the very first Equinoxes that came into the country. So, and I actually won my Equinox, believe it or not. I won it before they were even available, and then it was shipped to me. But what I know is, you know, they took all that feedback from the Equinox and said, okay, let's fix the thing where the broken ears on the coil.
Yeah.
We'll fix that. Let's put a flashlight on it. You know, all these other little things that they needed to do, you know, the collapsible shaft. They took all the things that needed to be fixed, and they did that. And then they added additional features, which is what we really need to learn, is those additional features. But so far, I really, really like that machine.
It's funny because when I started testing the machine out, like I test every machine out, it's just, you know, take it out of the box, turn it on, use the presets, and go and see what you can find. And I was finding stuff, but I couldn't wrap my head around how to make it quieter. And once you start to play with those features, then all of a sudden it just opens up to you. You just realize what, you know, and then it makes sense to you. And now it's fun. Now we're writing program. Me and my buddy Brandon out there, we're kind of tweaking programs for it and stuff, and we're having a lot of luck with it.
No, Brandon's doing it, and you're copying him.
No. Actually, I sent it to Brandon.
You're a liar. You know what?
I said, you know what? How about this? Brandon's sending me a box, and it's got presents in it for you and Ron. Ron might get his.
Now listen, I got to tell you something. You know what I like about Mark Hoover the most? Him and I, we both love our granddaughters the most. And his granddaughter is awesome. How old is she now?
She's 14.
14. Mine's going on 16 and a half. My little princess. Now this one here, look how beautiful she is.
Oh,
This
she's
is my other
gorgeous.
granddaughter, Layla. And she is like a firecracker.
Hi.
Say hi to everyone. You remember Frank and Ron.
Hi, Layla.
And that's Mark.
Nice to meet
Here's
you,
another
Layla.
one. Oh, Frank's other fan. Wait. The rest of Frank's fan club has to come down here and say hi. Go ahead.
Wait. Hi.
That's
Hello.
my wife's daughter, Jackie. You know, there's now which one's
Jackie is
one?
awesome.
No, I am. No, I am.
Who's Princess 1 and who's Princess 2?
I'm Princess 1.
No,
See
I'm
how that
Princess One.
I think
Alright,
Steve is Princess One.
All right, you got what did you wanted to ask me something? What did you want to ask me?
About the Kit Kats.
Oh,
but
good.
I
I don't know.
already
Go
have
go
them.
whatever can. All right, say goodbye, guys. We're gonna go back to say,
Bye.
all right, bye, guys. Bye.
Brush Chambers
Of course. Okay.
Bye.
Of course, Jackie had to come down. I got to say hi to Frank.
Jackie,
What the
awesome.
hell's that all about? I mean, I got to say hi to Frank.
Beautiful granddaughter.
I love Jackie. She's awesome.
But I know, see, that's that Mark holds his granddaughter. My granddaughter is my princess. My Lillian is my angel. Everything's about Lil. I mean, that's what you are with your granddaughter. Everything is just
Well,
about.
you know, not just my granddaughter. I've got four grandkids. My Solo and Liam both metal detect,
Mhm.
and the other two are I'm just introducing it to them now, and you know, they want to play with it. They want to try it.
Yeah.
And my goal is really just to get them interested in adventure, whether it's metal detecting or, you know, going out exploring or whatever. I want them to just be able to have that sense of adventure.
Now, real quick, speaking of that,
Yeah.
give us an update on Uncharted Expedition, because before you start, I want to tell you something. I love that show, but I'm getting a little mad because I thought episodes were supposed to come out on a regular basis.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Well, what?
all right. So you're right. And they've had 4 episodes come out. And unfortunately, Tim Draper got really sick.
Yeah,
So I don't know all the issues that are going on. I know some of them, but I'm not pushing him at all to say, hey, you know, get the other one done. But
yeah, I mean, Tim and I chat, and I know, but I thought they were already in the books. I thought they were already filmed. No?
well, they already filmed, but now they've got to edit the next episode, which would be episode 5. But you know, that editing takes a lot of work.
Do you want to give us a little teaser on episode 5?
Yeah, episode 5, I actually go into the caves with them. There were some very large caves that we found, and we got a chance to use the Maglite flashlights that we needed.
Okay.
It was pretty interesting.
Did you go down into the caves? I guess.
No.
Okay.
Well, again, Sean goes down into the cave, but
Yeah, that's what I mean.
there were some that we could actually walk into. And thankfully we had flashlights, because you walk into them and you keep going. If you kept going and you didn't have a flashlight, you'd be like,
Oh, really?
oh yeah.
I won't go in any caves with Frank. Like I said, I don't even follow him into the public restroom. So that, you know, but if no one out there has seen Uncharted Expedition yet, I got to tell you, it really is a good show. Yeah, the first 4 episodes have been out. I'm dying for the next episodes.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Now, I think the challenge is going to be, you know, look, the reality is, and Frank knows this, it's an expensive proposition. And unless we can get somebody to pick it up, you know, and say, hey, we'd like to take this and run with it and put the money behind it, it's probably I don't know how much further it's going to go.
Well, I hope, because, you know, I've talked to Tim Draper, and I so hope that the shows continue, because it's
a great show.
I'm sorry, I like it, and the episodes aren't coming out.
Well, look, I love doing it. I told him I'm
I
ready
know.
to go out anytime they're
But
ready.
I just want you guys to know that we support it.
Appreciate it.
Tim seems like a great guy. You helped us get him on the show. I know he kind of supports Detect America, which is great. And I know he comes on our page. We see him watching the chat. I wish him well. You know, I know he's writing books.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just got my copy of it. It's
Say.
Treasures of the Ancients.
Yeah.
And I think this was the first one that he signed, so I got a signed copy of it. And
So now sitting around with those guys have to be fun. Sitting around talking, just like in the off time, having a meal or at night like that, right? I mean, that's got to be interesting.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of camaraderie, and you just, it's just a lot of just like you guys. I mean, we have a lot of fun, and
No, it's not like us. We hate each other. You guys probably all like each other and are probably nice to each other. If somebody sends something for you to the other guy, you actually get it.
That's
They
just not
don't
fair.
eat it. They don't eat it.
Listen, I thought those sausages were for me too.
You probably stopped at Tim Draper's house and the dog came over and you pet it. I go to Frank's, the dog attacks me.
Yeah,
that's exactly true.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I need people like you on this show. I mean, everyone
Well,
sees
you know what's interesting there is it's just, and like I've said this before on your show, is it's the topography is completely different. I mean, you're going up into the mountains, you're going up into some areas that you would never go into on the East Coast. I mean,
yeah.
because it's such a high elevation,
and that's in Utah, right?
it's in Utah.
Utah.
Yeah, I'd like to have a
Utah's
group.
beautiful
Go
state.
ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I understand Utah's a beautiful state, and when I'm watching Uncharted Expedition, I look in the background, and it's like mountains everywhere, huh?
It is. It's not as high as elevation as like you would find in Denver or let's say in some of the higher elevations. But
I'm just talking about the beautiful scenery.
There's 5 national parks in Utah. I mean, and their state parks are as beautiful as some national parks. So, if you ever have, and I would encourage anybody, if you ever have a chance to go to Utah, so you go New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, Utah. Utah is absolutely just a beautiful state.
Now, in our area, my backdrop is the beautiful city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
Right.
As we're starting to call it, Philadelphia. And this place is getting worse and worse every day.
We're gonna start a new show here. It's called Charted Expedition, and it's basically me on the beach in a lounge chair with an umbrella drink.
And having Celeste pour them for you at all times.
Listen, whoever wants to pour them for me is fine.
While she's painting your damn house.
Celeste can't do that until she's done painting.
We have no scenery here. We have no scenery.
I want to give a shout out to Celeste. I know she's on there too. So Celeste, you're awesome. I don't care what Frank says. You're awesome.
She's a fine house painter, let me tell you.
Yeah, like I said, you are a piece of work, dude.
Thank
look,
you.
look, he's got her so full.
Oh, there she is. Hey, Celeste.
Hi.
Now get back to painting.
I go clean them brushes. Clean them brushes, lady.
You got them brushes in linseed oil? Let's go.
Clean them brushes.
For you. Thank you.
So it's 5 of 9, and
You want to do a giveaway?
You know what? 5 minutes before the show started, I heard about some kind of giveaway going on. Really awesome.
I think they messed up. I don't think we're doing a giveaway.
Oh, we ain't doing. All right, we ain't giving nothing away. Moving on.
No, we're doing a giveaway.
If you would like to explain, please go right ahead. And wait, before you do that, I'm going to start doing the wheel. I'm going to take the names off of YouTube, and I'll try and go on to Dig It. I'll try and get as many names as we can, and we're going to try and work this out in our best fashion. So take it away, Mark.
Yeah. So, and Frank, if you want to put the picture up, you can. So, my wife makes this just phenomenal strawberry jam, and some of you guys have sampled it. It's funny because I was trying to set up distribution in the jungles of Panama. They didn't quite understand what I was saying, but it's like liquid cocaine. Yeah. I mean, people, when I give that stuff away, we don't sell it, right? She makes it, we give it away. And I get people calling me like 2 or 3 months later, like, Mark, can you give me some more of that strawberry jam? Anyway, so we do give it away. She loves making it. I love giving it away. And so tonight and everybody knows I like watches. I have been known to give them away occasionally, or raffle them or whatever the case may be. So we decided tonight that Gail's going to give away a jar of strawberry jam, and I'm going to give away one of my watches.
You're like
And
awesome,
one
dude.
person is going to win both of them. So whoever gets picked is going to get. We'll have them send their address to you, send it to me, and then I'll ship it out from here. And that watch is a brand new dive watch. It's got the screw down crown. It's got the turning bezel. I use mine. I have one just like it. It's got 200-meter waterproof resistance. Great little watch.
My question is, why does that jam say FH8 for Frank? I don't understand.
So you're saying if I'm wearing one of these watches and I fall in the ocean and sink to the bottom, the watch will still be working, huh?
As long as you
I'll
don't
come
go
down
below
to save the
200
watch.
meters, 600 feet.
I'll dive in to save the watch, Steve.
I know that. All right. What am I trying to do?
So anyway, that's what we're going to give away tonight. Delighted to do it. Glad to be a part of the show and be able to give this away.
Well, you're not part of the show. You're part of the Detect America family. I mean, in all seriousness, you've been a member of this group for so long, and we've been with, you've been part of this page and on our show just so many times. It's like you're awesome. It's like you're
I
like
appreciate
great.
that. Thank you for that, Steve. I really appreciate it. I mean, I truly do feel like I'm part of the family, and that's why I love coming on here, being a part of it, and going to hunt in Alaska with Ronnie, and saving each other, and all the things we had to do. But can I mention my group real quick?
You can mention
Absolutely.
anything you want.
So anybody who's listening, a lot of you are already on there. I have a group called Adventures in History. It's a Facebook group. We just closing in on about 2,000 members. We have a handful of folks that post all the time. Really cool stuff. Anybody that wants to join, just go look for Adventures in History group. There's a page too, but the group is better because there's a lot more that gets shared. Love to have you. Just come on, join the group, and then be a part of that.
I'm part of that group. I'm part of that page.
You are.
No lie.
You didn't
Yeah.
throw me off, did you?
No.
No, I did.
Yeah, Frank did.
I said, Mark, make me an admin for a day.
Is there-
You
is
were
there-
gone.
And then there was like 50 members left after Frank got a hold of it.
And like I said, I mean, you and Gary are just such an integral part of this page, and your two children, Tim and George.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, because I sold shout outs, I have to give Tim and George a shout out because they paid me money.
They
So
ain't
that
paying
was
you.
their names. So I got to give a shout out to
And that-
Tim Saylor, KG, and they have a podcast tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, they do, and
They
they're
have
giving away an
podcasts now.
Apex.
So in order for me to get my money, I got to give them a shout out.
Yeah, the check bounce. Trust
See,
me.
I knew you were lying as soon as you said Tim and George gave you money. So
Yeah, money. Yeah, okay.
They paid him in those tokens. That's what they paid him in.
yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna
Gold
pay you.
token.
They're gonna pay you. Yeah, they told you they were gold tokens. But yeah, so whenever you have anything to share, anything
don't even hesitate to post it on the page.
Absolutely. All right.
we want you guys are like the best, man. It's like awesome.
Well, thank
And
you.
it's always a pleasure having you on this show.
It's funny too because we get guests on the show and some guests get a big response. Whenever you're on this show, there's a feeling of like giggling and happiness, and people can't wait to have you come on. People look forward to seeing you.
That's because you showed that picture of me as Woody.
That was almost going to be the main picture of the advertisement. I said, well, let me do them justice.
I'm
and
really
real
glad you
picture
didn't
up.
do that. That
And you
just
know
shows you how far I'm willing to go to promote the hobby. That's all.
I'm going to tell you this much. Before we do the giveaway, okay? Bye, honey. I love you. Come give me a hug goodbye. Hold on. I got to get my drink. I love you.
I love you.
You're beautiful.
Bye, Layla.
Bye.
So I was on a beach the other day, and the reason why I want to tell this story is because we got there and it just started to suck. I was feeling like very demotivated, deflated, I got, what I went there to do didn't happen. So I'm like, well, I got to go down by the beach. It's been pounded, hunted every day the whole summer. And I'm just going to go. And I was working on my days too, practicing my days too, which I'm beginning to like. And, I don't know. I walked down on the beach thinking nothing's going to happen. So I come across a signal, a number 86 on the VDI, and I'm like, well, that's a penny. And I go, because I'm trying to judge, read the signals and everything. I'm like, well, I think it's a deep penny. And I put that scoop in as far as I could go, and I dug down and nothing. Okay, so the target's not in that first scoop of sand. And I'm using the big T-Rex. I'm getting every bit of sand you can put in there. So then I take another same scoop straight down, nothing off the sides, nothing fell in off the sides, because a lot of people say, well, maybe the target fell. Well, in that second scoop, the target comes out. And this thing comes out. Now, you can see that real well, right?
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
School, college ring, high school ring.
Nice
College.
high school ring.
Oh, it's high school ring.
School ring. My first school ring that I ever got, right? And I'm like, oh man, bucket lister. I'm like, this thing's beautiful. I'm like, wow. And this thing is in great shape. Now, mind you, this was in the surf area. So there were initials in it. I'm like, okay, do what you got to do, man. I'm going to try and find the owner. Now, where I found it meant to me, now it's class of 89. It's got the year 1989 on it, the initials, and it's the West Philly Catholic High School. And listen, I did nothing to clean this up, and it is in perfect condition. The stone is still there, so I'm thinking, well, maybe this person had it around their neck and lost. I don't know. So I went and did a quick search of alumni for that year, and boom, in 3 minutes, I had someone three initials, MTV, by the way, too.
MTV.
Walking around in 1989 with MTV as initials. What, can't beat that. So then, boom, I find him on Facebook. So I send him a message. And this is where it gets tricky because, yes, there's scams out there everywhere. Everybody wants to reach in your pocket and get money out of you on the internet and bullshit you in any way possible. So I sent him a message saying, I think I have something you may have lost, and if you can describe it, I want to return it to you. He really thought it was a scam. He thought it was a scam, and I understand. So we had a friend in common on Facebook. So, and in actuality, this friend went to the same high school with him, which was unique. So that friend sent him a message and said, "Look, this guy's legit. You need to talk to him," because I didn't want to tell that person what was going on either. I didn't want him to know. So the next day I get a message saying, look, I understand you're legit, but whatever you have and I lost must mean nothing to me because I don't remember what it was. And so obviously whatever you have means nothing. So I responded with, look, I know you went to the West Philly Catholic High. He responded with, yeah, and by the way, I lost my ring, my class ring in 89 under Maury's Pier in Wildwood. Exactly where I found this. Now, the thing is, though, where I found this ring, Frank, a good half mile. The boardwalk, this is one of the longest beaches. It's a 10-minute walk from the water to the boardwalk.
Yeah, if you don't know Wildwood Beach, it's insanely wide.
Oh my God. I hate to even go there because by the time I get to the beach, I'm ready to die. So now what we've been thinking is in that area, they've been digging up a lot of the dirt under the boardwalk and using it to replenish the beach. And I think a bulldozer had moved this. And somehow it got down there. So tomorrow he is going to come and meet me. And tomorrow the return, he was amazed that I had found it.
And it's been there for 30 some years.
33
That's a
years.
phenomenal story. That's a phenomenal story.
It's not, you know what though? It's not the first one that had been found from that situation of that sand. I know a gentleman Tom Jackson, Frank. He found
Yeah.
a ring and that had been on that beach for that long. But yeah, you know,
That's
The thing
great.
is, if you drop it on the under the boardwalk in Wildwood, there's a real good chance that it's not the surf's not getting to it because it's such a huge beach.
well, listen,
Wow.
this one, Frank, if a storm had came and sucked up a lot of sand, this one, it was in the high tide mark.
Well, they had recently had some onshore winds, and there was areas of 15-foot cuts on that
And
beach.
that,
So I think they
listen,
were
I
pulling
showed
it out
you
and
when,
replenishing it.
didn't I show you the amount of sand?
Yeah.
Because the minute I find this thing, I got to call Frank.
I didn't
we
hear
knew-
nothing about it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. We knew there was erosion, and I could see on the dock because down there's the pier had come. You know, Maury's pier came out, and it was right. You know, the water. You walk right out of the water and into the pier, and you could see a good 4 foot of
Let
sand.
me let me intervene. Just a few days ago, I get a camera shot of the beach. So I called Steve up and said, "Hey, let's check. Did you check out the camera? Look at this beach. Look at. Oh no, that's all new fill. And don't worry about that."
Well,
He
that was
goes
Ocean
down
City
there, he
was just
finds
filled
gold.
That was a different beach. That was Ocean
I
City.
know.
That's
I'm
my
just saying.
that's my favorite men's room right there.
Yeah, that was Ocean City. That was all put in there. But like I said, the reason why these rings and stuff are out there is because the bulldozers all brought it from the back of the beach and from underneath the boardwalk, and that stuff is just landing out there. It's amazing.
That's a good thing you found it when you did. I mean, that's just an incredible recovery, and I hope he really appreciates what
And
you just
you
did.
know me, when you find something that you can return, like if it didn't have the initials, West Philly, I mean, come on, you know. But boom, the initials, I'm like, you know, you got to return it to the guy. So it'll
Right.
be an interesting story. I'm going to video it tomorrow, and I'll post the videos, and it'll be pretty interesting.
Wow, 1989. I was like in 4th grade then.
Ron was just starting to collect Social Security.
Hey, you know, Steve, that's a phenomenal story. You know, by the way, Ronnie, has everybody seen your gloves?
Yeah,
Yes.
I wear these all the time.
Well, you know, we need to put some rhinestones on them like Michael Jackson, so that way
Oh,
you
there
can.
you go.
I don't know. Maybe spring for a new pair that's not all falling off your hands.
Hey,
We're gonna do some. Hey, Ronnie, we're gonna do something for you. They,
All right, I'm going to
they-
do this. I can't, for some reason, I don't understand how people's names show up twice on here. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you, it's not their fault because there wasn't that many names outside of the Detect America page. Look, Greg Papala was watching, so
Awesome, great.
he's there. His name is in here. But
Greg,
Hey,
Greg is probably off to sleep at this point. He
While
had a full day.
y'all were doing that, I was going to tell you this. Like on this cruise that we went on, they do these history talks now, and they told a story of Mel Fisher, and believe it or not, they actually told his story. They interviewed his son. They showed the treasure. They talked about the history of the transformation of Key West. They talked about the history of rum going all the way back to the pirates. And I said, yeah, Ronnie and I tasted the first batch.
let me ask you a question, Mark. You know what? And I bet you a lot of people are going to be interested in this question because you are a man of Renaissance. And if you had one person, who would the person be that you wanted to choose to that you would want to sit down and talk to?
And I not me.
Since
So,
the-
now that's probably your first answer, but
Hey,
other than that,
stay out of this, fathead.
Well, do they have to be alive?
No, that's what I mean. No, anyone be alive or dead besides Frank Lupergola that you would like to sit and have an hour conversation with. Who would that be?
Well, I mean, if I could sit down with Jesus and spend an hour with him, that's who I would sit down and talk with.
I had a feeling you're going to say that. No, seriously, I did.
No, I mean, that's my answer. But I mean, there's a lot of people I'd love to sit down and talk with, but if I only could pick one and I only had an hour, that's who it would
All
be.
right, so throw another couple names out there from history. Someone in history that you know.
Yeah, I'd like to sit down with Abraham Lincoln. I think he would be pretty, and then probably maybe Alexander the Great. I mean, that guy's life was just incredible what he accomplished.
Oh yeah, he did.
So no, those are a couple of names that I mean, people
That's
that
cool. How about American history? Yeah,
what's the matter? What Abraham Lincoln's not American history?
You know what? It took me. Knock it off, both of you.
I'm not sure, but I think Abe Lincoln would count as
Go
American.
with it, Frank. Just take it because you know I opened the door for you. Okay, I apologize.
I'd have to
Well,
say KG.
you know, I mean, George Washington. I mean, that'd be fun to talk to him.
That would be number one on my list right there.
George Washington.
Yeah.
The man was offered the kingship of this country and said no.
Yeah.
I would absolutely be my number one.
You wouldn't pass on that though, Frank, if they offered you kingship.
No, I'd be king.
Well, you know, I worked on Abraham Lincoln's campaign, and when we were picking up Civil War bullets, we were picking them up when they were ricocheting off the trees.
Back in that day, I believe it.
Did you ever see that picture where the guy's holding the Alexander Graham Bell's metal detector for display? That was Ronnie holding that.
That was me holding that.
It was Ronnie that sold it to him.
Ronnie said, "Look, it's used. I can only give you a 1-year warranty on it."
You know what? I got about 120 people out there going, all right, let's do the giveaway.
All right. Let's do the giveaway.
Yeah, they're going, I know you guys think you're funny, but give something away.
Yeah, Protect America rules apply. I almost know where the names came from, whether it's I'm watching up YouTube. I've got Dig It Metal Detecting up just in case. We know the rules. We're going to pick a name. You have 1 minute to answer up. And the names have to be seen by me, Ron, or Frank. Okay, so no, he's here. No, I'm answering for him. If you guys would please, this is a pretty important giveaway. If you would please, not chat, not spam the chat till the person can answer up. Can you guys see the?
Yep, we can see the wheel.
Real clear.
Little blurry.
Oh no, I got it. Good. You'll see the name.
There.
All right, here we go. Let me shuffle a couple times, and off we go into the Wild Blue Yarn. Oh, I did pretty good with that.
Awesome.
Oh. Don Jacobson. Don Jacobson, you have 1 minute to answer up. Don Jacobson. And that name probably came from Detect America, because I know it wasn't YouTube. I'm gonna go and look on Dig It real quick. But Don Jacobson, you have 1 minute.
By the way, Mike Slater said that he would talk to Charlton Heston. You get him and Moses. Wait a minute. Oh, you get him and Moses in one setting.
Yeah, there you go.
Don Jacobson is here.
Don Jacobson is here. Congratulations, Don.
Congratulations,
I don't recognize his name. Does anybody recognize Don's name?
Not me.
Nope, must be a new one.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, Don, if you're new to Detect America, the rules are pretty simple. You've been chosen as the winner. You answered within 1 minute. Hopefully you're a real person. I'm just gonna go in Detect America and try and run his name real quick. See who we got. Oh. Yeah, I don't know of any reason why it would be null and void, but because I went through all the names. Don, are you a member of Detect? I wonder if he's can you dig it? Or so Don, why don't you do this? Send me and Mark Hoover, if you're friends with Mark Hoover. If you're not friends with Mark Hoover on Facebook, you need to become one. and get us your information to me and Mark, so that if Mark don't get it, I have it.
Congratulations, Don, and get us your information and we'll get it out to you. And
He just messaged me and told me I could keep it. So I'm trying to find out where he is.
You just want the jelly.
Yeah.
Oh, he's mine.
Give me the jelly, baby. Let's just research this before we say goodbye. So, Mark, plug everything you can right now.
Oh, you mean
Plug everything. You, Gary, every site.
yeah,
You
so here's some of the hunts that I'm going to. So we're going to the Garrett hunt next month.
Oh, nice.
And by the way, Gypsy Jules just had her hunt, and I heard it went off flawlessly. That was last weekend. And
We had a couple of folks on our page were there.
a lot of people were very complimentary. And then Gary and Gary will be at the Garrett hunt. And then I think they have, I want to say they have between 600 and 700 people going. Now, I understand that the last time I saw Garrett was over $100,000 in prizes that they were going to give away.
Wow.
So that's coming up in a month, and we're going to that, and that's going to be a great time. Digger Dawn and Chris Langston are coming over from England for that, so we're going to get a chance to see them and meet them there. Lots of great people will be there. I think Jace Robertson from the Ducks, the Duck Boys, are going to be there. Of course, KG and Ringy,
Yeah, and that's in Texas, huh?
Yeah, it's in Texas.
Yeah.
It'll be in Canton, Texas. But anyway, it's every other year in the times we've gone in the past. It's just an absolutely wonderful time.
Oh, it's every other year?
It's every other year now.
Oh, I think it was every year.
Yeah, well, it used to be. It's every other year now. And they said by doing it every other year, they could do it bigger.
Right.
They could put more prizes out and stuff like that. So it's going to be every other year. So we're going to that. And then in May, we're going to the Detecting the Heartland with Mindy and Casey Oberruder up in Illinois. Iowa, Illinois. And then we're coming back down and we're doing Florida Hunt 9 here in May. And then in October, we're signed up for Treasure Fest in Arkansas. And then we have our own Central Florida metal detecting Sunshine, Silver, and Relic hunt. Say that 10 times fast. That's in October. And then I'm looking at maybe one or two others, but those are the ones that I'm going to this year.
After Florida Hunt 9,
yeah,
we are going to be spending some time in St. Augustine.
Oh, yeah.
With Mark Anthony.
Right. Right.
And we'll be going over to Spanish Main Treasures. So
Spanish Main Antiques.
Spanish Main Antiques. You know me.
We can't get through his head.
So, and we're going to be hunting the beaches over there. So, I'm sure you and Gary would be invited to come along if you guys have the time.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to do that.
Yeah. So, we'll keep in touch about that. And we'll get you in, we'll get you guys in and do some beach hunting with you and everything else. I think I'd love to beach hunt with you guys and
that'd be great.
And just hang out because you can't bring the other two. Just what? Ringy starts getting that camera going and he wants to take pictures of me and stuff, and I don't like the way he wants me to pose.
I guarantee you don't leave that camera laying around there.
All you gotta do is just leave your phone laying around and we'll take care of it. No problems, no worries. We'll take care of it.
Ringy made the mistake of leaving his camera laying around last year.
Karma got him good. So I looked up Don Jacobson, and I believe he's a member of Detective America. He is from West Allis, Allis, Wisconsin. That's what it says on his Facebook profile. He's a big fan of mine and hates Frank Lopergola. It looks like he's also a Second Amendment person, which never a bad thing.
He's probably a friend of Scott McCrory's if he's in Wisconsin.
Yeah, because there's only 4 or 5 people that live there.
Well, if you listen, you don't want to say he's a friend of Scott McCrory. That might lose him the prize.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, Scott's bad news.
All right. Well, we'll get him the prize if we get
Yeah.
the address. So,
And it's
hey,
Don Jacobson, Donn Jacobson. Congratulations. And you don't
Right.
understand. That's a great. And Mark, I can't thank you enough for even giving away a prize like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Me,
brother.
I only want you
My
on the
pleasure.
show. I just want
What's
you on
that?
the show. I just want you to come on the show and be friends. And then do
Well, hey, we
something
just
like that.
decided at the last minute we wanted to do a giveaway. So
You are like the best, man. You really are.
I appreciate that.
Who's saying I won't hunt with them anymore? I don't know.
Why don't Mark? Me and you should start a show.
I don't know.
Me, you, and Ron.
How much is it? How much does it pay?
Good luck.
That's what I keep asking.
I've been asking that for 9 years.
I have doubled and tripled your salary more than once.
I know that. I know that.
Oh,
And Ronnie caught on and shut down his credit card, so I got nothing.
so just so I can, so I can make a few more dollars, I need to give a shout out to Rich Swoger. He paid me $10 to give him a shout out. So Richie, you get a shout out.
Yeah, you do those answering machine messages, you make a lot more money.
Hey, I may do
There
that
you
too.
go. Yeah.
Hey, this is Mark Hoover. I'm in Panama.
You know,
That's
I
not a
gotta
bad
start.
idea.
I gotta start going back and reading this chat because Don Went does nothing but trash me. And every so often I'll see something he writes, and I know there's more to it.
Hey, it's been a pleasure.
I just want
Always
to
a
ask you
pleasure, Mark.
another
Always a
Thank you.
question. Real last quick question. Do you think you'd ever go back to Panama to see that man again?
I absolutely would. I'd do it in a heartbeat if I could.
Yeah, I know. I got that's pretty cool. That must be neat. Make friends like that. I don't make friends with
I
anybody.
would love to go back at some point. I know exactly where to go and where, which tribe it is and all that stuff. So if I ever have the chance, I definitely will make an effort to go back.
Neat, interesting. So, Mark Hoover, you're the greatest. I want to thank you for being on the show. I apologize if Frank had to be here also,
Hey, thank you for having me.
and I can't wait to see
Hang
you.
on, buddy.
Can't wait to see you in Florida. We got to hang out. But please, if you're hanging out with my brother, don't forget I'm there. I'm like
All right.
I looked over it. My brother's sitting. I'm down one end of the table, like by myself. And I looked at my brother and Gary and Mark. They're all laughing, having a good time. And I'm like, all right.
I was wondering why your brother invited me to dinner and told me not to tell you.
And they're like, you guys are brothers. He's so cool, and you're not.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. You said that. Gary said. Everyone said it. You're the best. All right. Good night,
All right,
Mark.
guys.
Thank you.
Good night, Mark.
Good
See
night.
you, Mark.
Good night.
You know,
Thank you.
guys, you can't go wrong with any of them guys. Mark Hoover, Gary, Tim, George. That group of guys are just awesome, friendly, down to earth. You know,
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, we do nothing but laugh when we're with those guys. We have
and I'll
some
give you
good
the
times.
shirt off their back. They really are. No, yes, they really are. And that must have been a great experience. Like just knowing Mark, that's got to be like that's a great experience to him. You
Absolutely.
know. And the only Aborigine I ever met was Frank.
I'm very popular.
From the tribe, Frank from the tribe. Ronnie, how's everything going, buddy? How you feeling? You looking good?
I feel fine. I just wish we could get some decent weather. I mean, today was
I
cold.
thought today
It
was
was cold
chilly, but I thought it was nice, and
Yeah,
it's
well,
going to warm
nice.
up this.
You like cold weather, sure.
It
Well,
was very
but the
cold
sun-
today. I
the
woke
sun
up
was
this
out.
morning. It was 63.
We don't want to hear about your weather, Frank. We don't want to hear it. Okay, we don't want to hear about the pool. You going out to dinner at 4 p.m.
Great.
See?
How about my coyote? Woo!
Yeah, interesting. That thing was big.
The big coyote.
Yo, where did that thing come from?
My camera caught It was so funny because I had I'm trying to figure out where to put this one camera, and I just happened to set it on my front step, like hidden in the bushes a little bit. And I saw this rabbit, and then across the street, I saw this what I thought was a dog walking down the street. And then the next picture, he's in the camera, and it's a coyote. So then, of course, I went to join, like, we have a few different groups, Facebook pages here in Dunedin, like 3 of them in my park, and nobody will let me in. I don't want to join the park and just say, "Yo, got a coyote running." Nope, nah.
Like
I'm too young.
the dinner at 3, the aqua aerobics class at Dunedin.
Listen, I hear all the 80-year-old ladies at the pool. They want to make me team leader for
Team leader.
the pool aerobics.
I want to tell you something, man. I really feel bad for the coyotes. I really do, man. Everybody wants to kill them, and especially that Acme company, always wanting to drop weights on them and rocks on. That Acme company hates them. But down here they're in Jersey, they're everywhere, and but what bugs me is wherever there's a coyote, somebody wants to kill it. Oh, coyote, kill it! Coyote, kill it! Coyote, kill it! I mean, my man is in the struggle just like anybody else.
Yeah, go ask the farmers up there in Vineland about the coyotes they released into nature.
Well, that's what I'm talking. I mean,
They're
farmers
pretty much gone.
No, there's coyotes up there like
Oh,
crazy.
there's coyotes, but there's one farm community they released. First of all, I want to know what rocket scientists decided that an endangered species of turkey and an endangered species of coyote should be released into the wild at the same place at the same time.
in Jersey.
And then, yeah, so one farmer's wife apparently was coming in from groceries, carrying her groceries in, and her screen door slammed behind her, and this thing tried to get through the screen. And then that was the last you saw of the coyotes. The farmer said, "Oh, no, 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 no."
I mean, they're just so quick to want to shoot them and leave them dead. I don't know. I mean, I don't
listen. If they were good eating, I wouldn't necessarily just leave them. But
I mean, I do understand their point. Okay, yeah, they eat their chickens and this and that and blah blah blah. But man, it's a hatred. When you say coyote, they hate them. I hate them. I want to kill them all, Mike.
Yeah, listen. There's been incidents up there. I heard of them down here. I haven't talked to anybody about them coming out of the fields and your little puppies getting grabbed, and apparently it's a bigger problem down here than I thought.
Yeah, but that was a big boy, man. That was big.
And he was just strolling down the middle of the street, 5 o'clock in the morning. Like,
I mean, they really good. They look like wolves. I had one run across the street when we were driving right around the corner from the trailer down there, and that looked like a wolf. I'm like, that son of a gun is big.
Yeah.
And then one day we were driving down the woods, and my wife goes, "Look, there's a lost dog." And I'm like, "Oh man, someone left there. There's a dog running around in the middle of the woods." And I went, "Yeah, that's not a dog, honey."
Like I tell people, it's not like I'm in the Wild West. It's not like John Wayne is walking down the street with a 6-shooter, picking off rattlesnakes and eating them. And I told these guys, by the way, we apparently have them here too. I haven't seen them yet. But apparently they're snakes, and apparently our snakes, some of them like to swim in the ocean. That's what I heard.
Well, listen, I've seen online alligators swimming in the ocean down there too.
And of all the things I expected to see, I've only seen like 2 alligators. I only seen like the tops of their eyes. I haven't seen any alligators really.
Put your foot in that water.
Not your foot.
Listen, we got supposedly there's 3 little smaller alligators out in our lake, and everybody's like, "Oh, did you see there's a group of older ladies that go to the corner of that thing and they break up bread and you think they're feeding the ducks, but there ain't no ducks around. They're trying to get pictures of the alligators, so they're feeding the alligators."
Throw meat. They want bread.
Throw one of those take the weakest of the old ladies, throw her in, and I guarantee you get pictures of alligators.
Oh,
so
God.
Ronnie, you're preparing to bring in Nell Coils.
We are in negotiation with Oleski from Nell Coils. Yes, that's correct.
And I think, what I think we'll do when you get them in, because you said you're getting about 3,000 of them or something, right?
It
So
seems that way. At least the
when
price
you-
tag seems that way.
When you do get them in, we will do a cover show on them. We'll pull some out. We'll talk about them, the benefits of them, because I've heard a lot of good things about them.
I'll tell you what, if you're swinging an 8D Pro, you want to see her difference, put an L coil on it.
Absolutely.
I got a guy who swears by the MindLab SE Pro. Is that what it is, Ron? I mean, I have one in there. He
Yeah.
swears by that with a nail coil on it. And I watched him dig some deep stuff out of it.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how deep you can find a coin, how deep people can find a coin sometimes. So we'll talk about that when you get them in and get them rolling. We'll get it rolling for you. The Aquatex, guys, the Aquatex are, even Mark Hoover was talking about it earlier about the Aquatex. You can't go wrong. Now's the time to buy them. They're in stock.
And I hear there's a new one coming out very soon.
Those Aquatex, my friend, I'm liking them on the Deus, man. They're just, like I said, you've got 0 through 7 on the volume of a Deus, and I set it at 3. And if you go to 4, and I got bad hearing, if you go to 4, that's right between 3 and 4 is where 3 is loud, 4 is like, wow. You're not going to get to 5, 6, or maybe even 7 because it ain't happening. And then you've got that audio push, it's called, which brings your good signal out of the background.
Kind of lowers your iron and crap and brings your
clear as a bell. I'm telling you, I wish I could say I knew that Deus really found that. Like if I had another machine, I just like that gold ring was down deep. That Deus gave me there was it's there. There's a signal there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And those Aquatex really, really, you know it brings them into the forefront of those Aquatex, and that's golden. And we are still working on the note. Frank, where's our wires? Where's these wires? Where are the wires? No, where are the wires?
They're in the mail.
They're in the mail.
Well, actually, UPS. They're on their way down to Frank now.
They're on the way down. Because listen, if you don't have a waiting list already, then people are nuts.
I wasn't going to say anything until I had a few built.
I don't care.
We just want to push you. That's all, Frank.
Yeah, okay. Push me a little harder than the 90 boxes I'm in the middle.
You know what? Shut up and solder. And I can't believe. Listen, guys, I cannot believe this ugly box is still going out the door in dozens. Give me. All I hear is give me dozens. Give me dozens.
That little carbon gator, people are slowly starting to like it when they're cooking with it.
Not and just that.
All of a sudden, and their wires aren't burning up. I'm not getting calls. It just stopped working.
And I think it's time. You know what I think it's time for? I think it's time that since you don't live near me anymore, Frank, that I need to get the updated box and I need to do a little show with it.
Yeah, I said you're lucky. I was going through my my stuff and I found one timer.
Okay, yeah, I need a timer. Yeah, I need to get down with this ugly box and start showing, because if I pull out the old one, people are going to be like, "What is that?" And that damn thing still works great. Yeah. But
I just did an update. I felt bad. One of the guys from up in Jersey was showing off his ugly box. He was using it, and it was an oldie. And he sent it up to me, and it still worked. And the lights were flickering on a little bit, so I just shored up the solder joints and went back to them. It's still working. Like the problem was that I felt that this was an early ugly box, and I told him I could update it, but I couldn't because the way that these things were wired. So I built the first one. I'll have to show it to Ron. Whole new line of products.
It's come a long way, and I'll tell you what.
Battery operated lightning.
The funny thing is, you've got people that want to beat up other people that badmouth the ugly box, and they're guys that I'm not saying they're people that have bought them, used them, love them, and go, you ain't gonna talk bad about my ugly box. You ain't talking bad about my
The only thing
ugly
I
box.
say, and I say this to people, we didn't come up with the ugly box 30 years ago because we wanted to do something different. We wanted to get our niche in the market. We did it because all the crap that we were cleaning coins with then, and a lot of guys are still cleaning coins with now, are doing much. These toners. Yeah, seriously, guys, you're putting the toner on it because to get your patina. You don't think that's like dissolving surface metal? We did it because it was, out of everything that we tested and tried, this was the best way to cure a coin, to clean a coin, and to make a coin last for hundreds of more years.
The funny thing is, you started making them
God,
just to kind of help people out. You never wanted to get into business with this.
no, I mean,
And
well,
then
you got one. You got one long before we were ever really selling them.
Yeah, I know. And then you were like, well, you know what? I'm making them for friends. And then the word stuff. Oh, you want me to make? I'll make you one too. Oh, okay. You want me to make you
the
one?
best thing was the guys that don't necessarily love me online. And I get the PMs, goes, yo, can I get two? This was years ago, but
oh no, there's still people like that. There's still people that hate you that'll buy them. Yeah, 90% of your customers hate you. And then all the improvements you had made it really like were intriguing and it surprised me. And the Thunder I like, the Thrasher. I mean, they complement that box and now that you're going to put a timer on mine, that's
and people ask that, tell them that the timer unit is called the SP. If you're interested in that, call Ronnie. Ronnie will get in touch with me because that's a special build. We don't stock SPs. I build them. The same thing with the professional models. We build them. We've got them in a couple ship out here.
And really, the only reason you need one of them is if you have a very short attention span.
Yeah,
I just want to let you know that.
Hello, when dinner's on the table and you think you turn the damn thing off, and 5 hours later,
or I got to have one that spits out nickels because Steve's like, "Can I cook this?" No. Oh, I cooked it anyway. How come it's red?
Why is
I told
red?
you not.
Yeah, that was a nickel, big deal. But I fried that coin that I really loved, and that was I really thought I turned the machine off. You know, I'm an idiot, but not as big of an idiot as you. I'm the second biggest idiot here. Look at him, huh? He's reading. I can say whatever I want about him right now because he can't do two things at once.
People are asking who was the ugly box named after, and they're saying, yeah, my first girlfriend. all you have to do, well, let's put it this way: the ugly box started off as being called the Ugly Joe. And then there was people involved in our group that had the first name Joe.
Joe.
I changed it to the Ugly Box, and it stuck because if you look at the early versions of the Ugly Box, there's no question in your mind of why it's called the Ugly Box. There was glue oozing out the sides. They were made out of used Tupperware containers, and
yeah, you did just any plastic container in it. Yeah. But now it's going, it's doing well, and I mean it's
got a facelift. That's all.
Actually, well, in the past, even since Ronnie came on board, it has had a bunch of changes to it. We have tweaked it all the way along the way.
But my thing is this: that thing just keeps pumping out. I mean, people just keep buying and buying and buying, and I'm like, you gotta be like kidding me! I'm really surprised, and it's not just people buying them; it's the companies are buying them from Ronnie in bulk, and they must be pushing them things out the door because they're ordering 20, 40, 50. It's getting out of hand.
I was trying to figure it out the other day. I think, and we're good for in a year. We're good for 350 of them to maybe 500. I was figuring out the last 12 months from the current order that I'm sending to Ronnie 12 months ago, and we're going to be at like 700 units, something like that, over the course of the past 12 months.
Yeah, so it's coming along, and I'm just glad because I don't know. When did I call you, Ron? Yesterday?
Yes, it was yesterday.
Man, the guy I barely talk. I'm doing this. I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm doing this. I'm sitting this. Like this guy doesn't stop.
Yeah, well, I
You gotta
guess that's what
slow
you get.
down a little.
That's what you get when you run 3 businesses.
Yeah, I know. But you're always busy.
Seriously, to build ugly boxes and then my modeling career, it's tough, man.
And that means it's time to go, folks.
Yes.
Ronnie, you want to say goodnight to everyone?
Good night, everybody. Again, another great show. Thanks for watching. We had a good time. Mark Hoover, excellent guest. Excellent
Always.
guest.
Mark is always a good guest, man. Always.
Good
He
night,
said,
Rod.
I went to Panama. I said, good, come on the show.
Good night, Ron.
Good night, everybody.
I still think the tribe, as soon as Mark left, I picture them all getting changed in the shorts and t-shirts, hopping in their Range Rovers, pulling out the phone, and
Taking off the coin, putting the Mercedes pendant on.
and going home, going home to their house with the electricity and everything.
Can you believe that guy thinks I live in this tree?
Yeah. Who would live in that tree? So the funny thing was, in our pre-show, which is always fun, Mark says, "Look, I'm getting messages that people want Ronnie to talk on the show." And we're like, "No, it ain't happening." I'm getting people are messaging our guests to have Ronnie talk on the show.
Ronnie just hasn't figured out the crowbar yet. He's
Where?
crowbar that conversation in there.
But I love that. I love that. They're sending our guests the messages to let Ronnie talk on the show. It's just like Penn and Teller, folks. Oh my God. All right. So it's 20 of 10. I'm going to bed. I had a long ass bad day.
I haven't even eaten dinner yet. Matter of fact, I just realized I forgot to feed my dogs.
I gotta get a shirt out to wear. I think I'm gonna wear a Detect America shirt when I do the return tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I want to have that on.
Yeah, definitely film that bad boy.
Yeah, we're gonna film that, send it off to the TV crew, and they love them stories. They really do. And I'm only gonna send it to one TV crew.
I know who you're going to send it
Instead
to.
of 18 different channels.
You're going to send it to what? Is she still that girl? Is she still doing it?
The one we met.
Yeah. What's her name?
You don't. Nah, she's still on TV. She does a special segment. She was so nice. I had fun that day. She was awesome. She was a best.
I gave her surf shoes.
Nice girl. She was a nice girl. That was a good day had by all. And
where did we do that? Oh yeah, right by that elephant. In
that was an elephant, or that was.
Well, it was either an elephant or somebody that lives there, but I think it was an elephant.
That is.
Margate.
I'm gonna tell you something. Let me tell you something. I shouldn't say this online, but that's a hot beach.
I guess, dude. If you go down to Margate and you see that elephant, you need to pound that beach.
That's a hidden gem. That's all.
Well, even that day we were out there with her, 3 or 4. She never had a metal detector in her hand. She found a silver pendant on that beach.
I know. That's one of my go-tos. I listen. I don't mind telling people where I hunt. And honestly,
right, Lucy the elephant. Get out there in bunches.
Oh, and you know what? They remodeled it, so it's nicer.
Yeah, you can rent the rooms again. You can rent a room and stay in Lucy the elephant, and then walk out and just turn to your left and just.
I had one of my best ring returns there one time. Guy lost it at high tide. I said, you know what? I can't go out there now. It's over my head. I said, I'm going to come back tonight at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to find that ring. I get there at 1 o'clock in the morning. Him, and he had like 2 or 3 sisters, I guess his wife, and the mother was there. And the mother goes, I don't think you're going to find it. And I was like, she was so sure. And I went down and I found his ring.
Brandon Kowalski, there is an elephant on that beach, right off the beach. It's a gigantic, like 4-story tall elephant. It was made in 1890s.
Oh yeah, look it up
online. It was a hotel. It was like 4 or 5 rooms in this thing.
It's
and
Lucy,
they just renovated it, and
Lucy
you
the elephant.
actually rent the rooms today.
Lucy the elephant. Yep.
Look it up. Lucy the elephant, Margate, New Jersey.
I know there's a lot found on that beach too.
Yep, absolutely. Many rings.
Even John Candy could find things out there.
Absolutely.
John Candy and Paul Blart.
Oh yeah. Paul Blart.
Paul Blart hunts that beach.
I hear it's a very secure beach too. Yeah, go online, check out Lucy the Elephant. Plan your next vacation for that beach in Margate. You will have lots of fun.
It's all fun and games, buddy. It really is all I can say.
My two dogs are sitting on either side of me, and they're staring at me like we haven't.
Yeah, I'm going to bed.
We haven't eaten yet.
I can't believe we did an hour and 45 minutes.
I know. Mark.
You know what I can't believe?
Mark's easy to do, man.
You know what's even worse? You know what's even funnier than that? People are still watching.
I know.
One of these days, we're gonna do a show where we stay on until there's 0 people watching.
They'll all sign off.
I need to. I can't believe like people are still watching us. Are you nuts? I would have turned me off an hour and 43 minutes ago, especially after seeing Frank.
I know. What the hell?
All right, buddy. Listen. Good night. What do we got? What do we got for next week? Anything? All right.
We'll find out.
We'll do something. Who knows? All right, buddy. I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
All right. Good night. Good night. I'm out of here. Oh, you got to hit that button.